How's it going, everybody? I'm meteorologist Joey Cragness, back with your daily forecast. We don't have much severe weather to talk about, but we do have more rain and snow out west, another wave impacting the west coast over the next couple of days. We do have a potential system that could bring some severe weather to the plains next week. We'll talk about that, as well as the now largest wildfire in Texas history out in the Texas Panhandle. We'll talk about that and what we can kind of expect in terms of growth and containment coming up. Looking at our nationwide radar here, seeing some decent rain and precip just moving now into Oklahoma, kind of along that Texas-Oklahoma border. Seeing some rain and snow starting to pick up in the Pacific Northwest, but other than that, most of the country is pretty dry, clear skies, fairly nice day, although it could be a little on the cooler side for some areas. See this little shortwave trough moving into the southern plains there. That's what's kicking up that precipitation. And then that low pressure system sitting off the coast there, bringing more precipitation to the Pacific Northwest. Right now, central Oklahoma on the cooler side compared to the last few days. Right now, sitting in the lower 50s, upper 40s, see that precipitation just starting to move in. Could see some rumbles of thunder out of that, not expecting anything severe, but could get a little bit gusty, moderate precipitation. Like I said, maybe a few rumbles of thunder as well. DFW sitting pretty cool as well, lower 50s, upper 40s out there. Actually 38 degrees right now in Decatur, so on the cooler side this morning. And then down in San Antonio, Austin, also on the cooler side. Still got a little bit of cloud cover out there preventing things from warming up. But it's going to be a relatively cool day for a good chunk of the southern U.S. 60 degrees in Galveston, mid and upper 50s elsewhere. But the Front Range actually is looking fairly warm right now compared to the southern plains. Mid and upper 50s, got 61 degrees out in Colorado Springs, clear skies. Should be a fairly nice day out there, but we're expecting some cooler temperatures potentially to move back in with the system next week. But looking at our temperature, 24-hour temperature changes, a little bit warmer in the central U.S. than it was yesterday with that cold front that came through. You can kind of see where that boundary is still setting up along where that cold front came through, much cooler than it was the same time yesterday for the East Coast. Temperatures dropping 20 to 30 degrees in some spots. From that front, now temperatures beginning to rise in the central and western U.S. And then we'll take a look at the fires around the country, but mainly in Texas. All these little fire spots are satellite indicated fires, so hot spots that it's picked up on the infrared wave of our satellites. Zooming in down here to the Texas Panhandle, we have the Smokehouse Creek Fire. That's the name of this fire in the Texas Panhandle. It started just a few days ago on the 26th. It's now over 1 million acres, making it the largest fire in Texas history. The previous largest fire was just over 900,000 acres. I believe that was in either 2006 or 2007 that started. This fire is only 3% contained. Like I said before, it is now the largest fire in Texas history. And luckily, some relief looks like it could be on the way. The cooler temperatures, slightly reduced winds, as well as a little bit of precipitation this morning and throughout the day today could help with getting that fire slightly more under control before it moves into more populated areas like Pampa and Amarillo. It The start or the cause of this fire is still being determined. It'll probably take several days, up to a couple of weeks, for that cause to be exactly determined. But conditions are looking fairly good for getting that fire under control, with those grasses being a little bit, having a little bit more moisture added with that precipitation. We could see some fire conditions start to build back in as we head into the weekend, but hopefully this fire will be fairly contained by that point, so they shouldn't have much to worry about as we get into Friday, a Saturday, a Sunday, with this ridge that's expecting to build back in with those warm temperatures. Looking at our future radar, we have this nice band of rain moving through Oklahoma City this afternoon. And like I said, that could bring a few little rumbles of thunder, not expecting much like hail or heavy wind with that, but widespread precipitation over the south central U.S., heavy precipitation along the Gulf Coast. They could be seeing several inches of rain over the next 24 to 48 hours with that little wave that's moving through. Wind gusts, it is a little on the breezy side in the central plains, but other than that, not terrible compared to how windy it was over the last few days out there, especially in the Texas and Oklahoma panhandle. Should be dying down quite a bit out there. Along the west coast, heavy or strong winds with that system coming through. That nice little wave here producing some fairly strong gusty winds, moderate rain, heavy snow for the higher elevations. We'll get this low pressure system that forms kind of in northern Wyoming, southern Montana over the weekend. That'll push off to the northeast, bring a little bit of a round of snow for the Dakotas and Minnesota. And then this is the main system that we're watching as we get into the beginning of next week. That low will push off a little bit to the east. It'll be slow moving at first, and then it'll kind of take off to the northeast. And this is when it'll really get going. We have this cold front that's expected to stretch fairly far south. That could bring some severe weather. It's looking kind of iffy at this point, but definitely some heavy precipitation and snow on the north end of this low pressure system. The severe weather on the south end is still questionable, but then after that, cooler temperatures expected to move in behind that cold front, and we could be on the drier side and cooler side for a little bit while after that. So that'll kind of hinder our severe weather chances, but we could see a chance for severe weather with that system. 5-day rain chances, 5 or more inches of rain for the Sierra Nevada mountains out there, but that's mainly going to be falling as snow along the Gulf Coast. 3 to 5 inches of rain, looking fairly good, breaking it down day by day. Heaviest precipitation on the west coast today and into tonight, and then that precipitation will pick up as we get into tomorrow along the Gulf Coast. That rain will kind of linger into the weekend on the west coast and into Sunday as well. That rain and snow will spread off to the east, and then as we get into the beginning of next week, we could see some more rain picking up in the southern plains, Gulf Coast, and up into the Midwest. So could be on the wetter side over the next several days for a good chunk of the country. On the warmer side for the eastern half of the country, cooler on the west, but like I said before, pretty much above average precipitation expected for most of the country, except for this little chunk of Montana and North Dakota. They could be slightly drier than average, but some good precipitation is on the way as we get into the early portion of spring. That's all we got for today. If you're interested in learning more about us, give us a follow on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. If you're interested in purchasing a plan, go ahead and scan that QR code up above me, or give us a call at 855-334-4245. Email us at info@hailtrace.com, or check out our website at www.hailtrace.com. For now, I'm meteorologist Joey Cragness. Thanks for watching.